So Genshin Impact players, we need to talk about Sandrone. Yes, the mysterious Fatui Harbinger with the big automaton buddy, Palonia. Because if recent whispers floating around Teyvat are true, she might not just be a background presence anymore. Nope. She could actually be stepping onto the stage as a playable character in the latter half of version 6.x. And let me tell you, the reactions are all over the place. Excitement, confusion, disbelief. It's like the spiral abyss, but for emotions. Now, before we get too carried away, let's do the usual disclaimer. Take this like a puff of dandelions in the wind. Light, fun, and not set in stone. Leaks shift faster than anemone particles in a storm, so keep your salt balanced. But the buzz is juicy, so let's break it down. The first big claim is that Sandrone could be a main focus character. That means she wouldn't just quietly debut in a banner and vanish. No. We're talking big marketing pushes, front and center story arcs, event tie-ins, maybe even a signature weapon with a lore page longer than Enkanomiya's history books. Characters like Arlecchino, Raiden Shogun, and of course the Archons fall into this category. They're the ones who get posters on the metaphorical wall of Hoyoverse HQ. But here's where the community raises an eyebrow or two. Because if Sandrone really is a main focus harbinger in 6.x, she'd be sharing that spotlight with juggernauts. We're talking names like Columbina. And, wait for it, Alice. Yes, the Alice. The legendary, chaotic, mysterious voice behind Klee's postcards. Players have been waiting for her since practically the dawn of Mondstadt. So the idea Sandrone would compete with those heavy hitters has left fans skeptical. Can multiple massive characters really share the same stage? Well, actually history says yes. Remember how Sumeru gave us Nahida and Wanderer close together? Or how Fontaine dropped Farina alongside Nouvellette in the same cycle? Hoyoverse has shown they can juggle more than one superstar at a time. So it's not impossible. Just feels ambitious. The second piece of this rumor puzzle is even spicier. Sandrone's supposed new reaction. Lunar Crystallize. Let's pause. Because if your immediate thought was, wait, crystallize? The weakest reaction in the game. You're not alone. The community basically went, excuse me? You're going to take the one reaction mainly used for S.H.I.E.L.D. cosplay and make it her centerpiece. And that's why this has stirred debate. If Lunar Crystallize is just crystallize with sparkles slapped on, then Sandrone benefits, but poor Noelle and Ningguang are still left in the corner, wondering when Geo will ever get love. The word lunar sounds cool, sure, but players are worried it could just be a shiny sticker on a bottom-tier reaction. But let's look on the brighter side. The very mention of crystallize basically confirms Sandrone is a Geo character. And honestly, that's something Geo desperately needs. Ever since Navia showed up with her stylish cannon umbrella, the element has been begging for another DPS. If Sandrone fills that role, she could shake up Geo in a huge way. And then, of course, we have the fan theories. One of the most popular ideas is that Lunar Crystallize isn't just about slapping a shield on. Instead, it might tie directly into Palonia, her automaton. Imagine this. Every shard created doesn't just sit on the ground. Instead, Palonia scoops them up, converts them into energy or elemental damage, and fuels Sandrone's attacks. Suddenly, those boring shields become ammo, laser beams, or explosive punches. That would be a game changer. Makes sense thematically too. Sandrone is literally known as the Puppet Harbinger, so her mechanics should scream synergy with her automaton. This would be similar to how Navia turns shards into cannon fire, but on a more specialized level. The only catch. Some players fear that, just like Navia's mechanics or even Baiju's niche, this could be a self-contained gimmick. Great for Sandrone, but not exactly a fix for Geo as a whole. Basically, Lunar Crystallize might become Lunar Sandronize, and everyone else is left out. And here's where skepticism ramps up. Because let's be real, Geo hasn't had the best track record with reactions. You don't exactly see Geo topping charts outside of some dedicated Noelle or Itto mains. So fans are cautious. They want to believe Hoyoverse is finally giving Geo its time to shine, but they've been burned before. Now let's zoom out. How credible are these rumors? Well, mixed. Sandrone's playability has been tossed around for ages, with some claims saying she's far off, and others saying she's closer. The truth probably lies in the middle. What we do know is Hoyoverse tends to make Harbingers a big deal when they're released. Arlecchino wasn't just a banner. She was practically the star of her patch. So if Sandrone does join, it's safe to assume she won't be treated like a side character. The question is timing. Could Hoyoverse really squeeze her in during the same cycle as Columbina and Alice? If so, that's a patch lineup so stacked it could rival an entire Archon quest. On the flip side, it's possible Sandrone is being tested now, and her release could get pushed. These things aren't locked until Hoyoverse says so. So again, puff of dandelions. But let's circle back to the strongest takeaway. Whether she drops in 6th or later, whether she's the main focus or just a strong support act, one thing seems certain. Sandrone is Geo. And that alone is enough to get the community buzzing. Geo fans have been waiting for someone new to break the mold. Someone who can stand alongside Navia and give the element fresh relevance. If Lunar Crystallize really does turn out to be more than Shields 2.0, we could be looking at one of the most unique mechanics in the game. So what's the vibe? It's a mix of hype and hesitation. Some players are thrilled at the idea of a new Geo powerhouse, especially with her giant robot pal at her side. Others are clutching their primo gems nervously, worried this might be another flashy gimmick that doesn't live up to the promise. Either way, all eyes are on the next beta phases, where we'll hopefully see if any whispers hold water. And honestly, that's half the fun of being in the Genshin community. The speculation, the theories, the what-ifs. Will Sandrone stand shoulder to shoulder with Arlecchino and Child? Will Lunar Crystallize change how we look at Geo forever? Or will she just end up being another character that shines in her own little niche? We'll find out soon enough. Until then, let me know what you think. Are you excited for Sandrone to finally join the roster? Do you believe Lunar Crystallize could be the glow-up Geo needs? Or do you think it's destined to be another self-contained mechanic? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I'm super curious to hear where you stand. And if you enjoyed this dive into Sandrone speculation, don't forget to give this video a like. It really helps the channel. Subscribe if you want more Genshin updates, character deep dives, and lore breakdowns delivered straight to your feed. And of course, hit that bell so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for hanging out today, travelers. Until next time, keep your primo gems safe, your theories wild, and your dandelions fluffy. Bye.